I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast.
I have a new neighbor. He's a 7-year-old young man named Connor, and he's really cute. And he's been coming over and helping me with my horses on the weekends and just, doing stuff in the yard and hanging out with me. And he asks lots of questions and we have good conversations. And the other day when we were out working with one of the horses, and his mom called him over. She's kind of across the way. I don't really know her that well. And he came back a couple minutes later and I said, "What was up?" And he said she wanted me to take a drink of water so I don't get sick, because everybody at school's been getting sick and she doesn't want me to get sick. And I kind of smiled. I go, "Well, what do you want?" And he goes, "I don't know." And I go, "Well, what do you think?" And he goes, "I don't know what I think." And I said, "Well, do you want to get sick?" And he's like, "I don't know what I think." And he got really upset with me. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. Because one of the things that's really important to me is that we teach children how to think. If we're always thinking for them, they don't learn to think for themselves, and it makes it really difficult for them to make decisions. And so in this case, I was trying to lead the conversation in a certain direction. Like if he would have said, "Oh, well, I don't want to be sick," then I could have said something like, "Well, what are some things that you can do to keep yourself healthy?" Like, your mom having you drink is a really good idea. But he didn't even know what he thought, or he wasn't able to articulate what he thought. So in cases like this, what I would do, and what I definitely will do with Connor, is to keep asking him lots of questions. One of the ways we teach kids how to think is to allow them opportunities to think. And the way we do this is to ask them questions and not answer the questions for them. So if your child is working on something and you know the answer because you're an adult, you've been there, you've learned, you always know what the answer is to whatever problem they're working on, whatever challenge that they have, whatever opportunity that is in front of them. If you just give them the answer, this isn't really helping them learn to think. So you want to look at the situation and say, how can I ask this child a question that leads them to the answer? So some good questions to ask them are, what would happen if? Or what do you think the result of that would be if you do that? Or how could you make that work better? Or what are 3 ways that you could do that differently? And all of these questions should cause a child to kind of look up in the sky and squint a little bit and make this funny face. And what that face is thinking. And it's a really, really good thing. And I like to find lots of opportunities to teach kids how to think. They just don't have enough of that. So much of what they're learning is, and what they're experiencing, is people telling them what to do all day long. And so they don't get really good at thinking, which is what we want them to be good at. So today, and even all this week, look for opportunities where you can ask your child, what would happen if? What could you do in order to make that a different result? How could you do that differently? What do you think is going to happen if you continue to do that? Do you know where you're supposed to be? Any kind of question that's a little bit open-ended so that they can fill it in their heads is going to help them. It's going to teach them how to think. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Happy parenting.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Debbie Godfrey, owner and founder of positiveparenting.com. I hope you'll go and check out my website and follow me on Instagram and let me know about what you thought about today's episode. Did you learn something new? Were you able to do something different with your children? Did you have a success story? Those are my favorite to share. Let me know. Contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And also, what future topics would you be interested in hearing about on the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast? Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. Take care and happy parenting.